You gotta roll it. It's like I tell people, get on the train right now, because those boys gotta come. Because right now, the light at the end of the tunnel is not like, don't fool.
I'm in incarnation where them Cardinals at, with them Cardinals on their glove and the Cardinal hat. I'm in the Cardinal sports zone, spitting Cardinal raps. Say it, C-A-R-D-S, play them Cardinal game, get a Cardinal start, play them Cardinals.
Welcome to the Cardinal Pulse. I am John Hancock from KentuckySports.co, here with Steve Rummage and Jeremy Wallman from CardinalSports.co.
We think John is
the
here.
fifth time, John, that we've done this show.
I know. It's just a long name. Shorten up your name, and I'll get it. Yeah. But we have a fantastic show tonight. You're welcome to give us a call at 502-265-5211, and we got a lot of things to talk about. Of course, this is a show that's dedicated to Louisville fans, and we got so much going on. But in the show, we will have former Cardinal Perrin Johnson.
Yeah.
Get to talk to him. We were supposed to have him on last time, but some scheduling things happened, and then we have future point guard Chris Jones. JUCO Player of the Year. So we'll get to know about him, and Louisville fans will get to just hear how his excitement.
Yeah. I think people are going to be surprised. They're going to be ready for this. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, absolutely. The question of the night, and we can go ahead and maybe answer that way. We can get the ball rolling. But, of course, you can call us at 502-265-5211. Who was your favorite football player, Cardinal football player growing up?
Favorite player? Jeremy, you go ahead.
Because sometimes it's different. For me, like it wasn't the person who put up the most stats. It was just somebody that I respected that maybe made me more of a Louisville fan because of the way they presented themselves. Today we found out that Teddy Bridgewater will not have a Heisman campaign.
Oh, that's insane.
Which is insane, but it was per his request.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, how crazy? I mean, have you ever heard of that happening? I mean, what kind of a special kid is he?
Yeah. I mean, coaches, of course, approached him, and he said, I want to focus on the team. I want to make it about the team, and I want to make it about winning and not about,
That's incredible.
I would have to say, to answer your question, John, for me, and with it being like a more personal experience with me because it was during my recruitment process, I would have to say Roman Oben. Obviously, he wasn't going to catch any touchdowns, throw any touchdowns. Mm-hmm. He was O-lineman, but just his character, just the type of person he was, that showed on the field. You didn't have to know him to know that he was just a stand-up guy. Everything he's done since he's left the game, and he was my host. On my visit, he hosted me. So that's who I would say because, like I said, just I'm a good character type of guy. I like guys that have good character and. Things of that nature.
You're a character guy.
Yeah,
we got it. Okay, yeah.
Well, not a Derek character guy. I'm just kidding. Derek.
The one thing about Roman is he was kind of the pancake champion. I mean, that's what he did. Orlando Pace was known, and that's why he made it to the top draft pick in his draft. But Roman was just as remarkable. Didn't get as much play because he was at Louisville at the time, and we weren't on ESPN every other night.
Right.
But Roman could throw some people down.
He was a monster, man.
And we're going to have him on the show later this year.
Yeah, later this summer we're actually going to be talking with Roman on the show, and he's a great guy. I mean, we talked to him on the phone one day, maybe 45 minutes, and he's just a phenomenal guy. This was right before the Giants were going to the Super Bowl. So I mean, and obviously Roman is up in New York now.
Works for the Giants
Network. So he took 45 minutes to talk to us, and was just, man, he's a great guy. Love Roman Oben.
Yeah.
For me personally, I'm not going to go too old school, but honestly, it's Michael Bush, man. I love Michael Bush. I mean, he was that. Michael Bush was really that first superstar to say, well, I don't want to say first because Chris Redmond did it, but he was one of the first guys to really say no to the blue bloods in America. Say no to the Tennessees, no to the ones out there that were going after him, and stayed at home. And Michael Bush, I think, like I said, Redmond did it. Obviously, there was coaching changes in there that hurt, but Bush, I think that commitment really set off Louisville into a direction that we kind of see where we're at now. You know.
Oh, well, and the Redmonds class was full of the hometown here. That was Mike, Ivan Green, Don Bibb, Alvin Lloyd, those guys. But yeah, as far as a little bit more recent. Yeah.
Well, and recruiting is so much more. Chris Redmond was a big time recruit, but in what was it, 96?
96. Yeah.
I mean, recruiting wasn't on ESPN. That wasn't a big deal. You found out who teams had when they started the season.
Yeah,
like, that kid's pretty good.
And they didn't keep track of
right. So Michael Bush was a highly publicized recruit, and and he stayed home, and that was just and I mean he was just awesome to watch. I mean I could spend the next 10 minutes on just certain plays that you're like, oh man, I loved Michael Bush.
Yeah, for me, I'll go a little more old school than both of you. For me, because I'm 5'7.5" on a good day. For me, Rico Clark was my man.
Right.
I mean, when I was playing football, he was the kind of guy that I wanted to be like.
Right.
Because I mean, he was a safety who was, how tall was he? Like 5.
He was a little guy, man.
Yeah. 5'9" maybe.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe.
Sounds about.
Maybe. And he's small, but no one got past him.
No.
He was the king of the shoestring tackle. I mean, he would just get as low on their legs and just wouldn't let go.
Yeah, he had a lot of heart.
Yeah. And another player, only because he had a mullet, that I think was Alan Campos.
Yeah.
He was a linebacker who, I mean, didn't get a lot of notoriety compared to the other linebackers that Louisville had back then. But he did a lot of the little things that.
Right.
And he still lives in Louisville and is, doing great things. So, those would be mine. Of course, you can call in and give us yours and why. Maybe even go a little bit further down. I'm sure I could come up with hundreds that growing up when I was a kid. But I remember I was able to talk to Rico Clark, and maybe that's why I liked him. I was able to talk to him as a kid, and he was kind of on my level compared to the other ones. But give us a call at 502-265-5211.
Going back, Johnny, how old was Johnny Unitas? Would there be anybody alive that seen Johnny Unitas play? There is?
Yeah.
Okay. I would like to hear from somebody that has seen Johnny Unitas play.
Yeah.
That's seen that. If there's anybody out there, if you know anybody that's seen Johnny Unitas play, or you have, would you call? I want to talk to somebody that's seen this man play. Obviously Johnny, obviously he made his name after Louisville. But he went to Louisville, so I'm claiming him, and I'm going to take everything
fair.
about it. The statue at Louisville, great. Did he accomplish enough to get a statue at Louisville? Maybe not. But regardless, he got it, and that's cool. So, but yeah, I'm kind of interested if anybody's actually seen him play. That's around here.
Never thought about that
I'd love to hear him.
Yeah,
I'd love to hear from him.
It'd be good to hear how because obviously if they've seen him play, they've seen everybody since. They could kind of tell us, who he reminds them of.
Yeah.
Or if anybody stacks up to him.
Yeah, football was so much different back then. Not that I know, but a little bit of football history. I mean, I didn't get to watch it live or anything like that, but just you went both ways, and if you played quarterback, you were actually a running back. You know, they didn't throw it that much.
That's true.
And
didn't Johnny play safety or something too?
I think he played
like safety, and so yeah. I mean, it was a
no,
lot more hard nosed.
Face masks.
No, who needs them? I mean,
I do.
Yeah, athletes, people are getting bigger and bigger, so I can see that.
Absolutely. Let's go into a little bit of news. And, of course, like I said, you can give us a call at 502-265-5211. We have Perrin Johnson coming on a little bit, and then future point guard Chris Jones after that. Guys, a ton of things are going on. Props to Jared Swapshire getting a job at Christian Academy, the Indiana campus in New Albany. Great to hear that he is, felt so bad for me. He was at Northwestern, their sixth man, and was doing some fabulous things.
He really was.
Off the bench for them. Was showing. I mean, he did fabulous things for Louisville.
Oh yeah.
But unfortunately, his time was short again because of an ACL tear.
Yeah, that was.
So, but yeah, he's gonna land. He just got a job at Christian Academy and gets to start his coaching career.
And with Jared, let me be one to say, I really think, and I've heard split opinions on this, but I really think that Pitino did what was best for Jared in that whole situation. I know that was a touchy subject when, whether he should stay or whether he should go. And I wanted him to stay. I like Swapshire. We had seen Swapshire when we was with Terrence and some of them up at the Yum Center, and we would go up there. I mean, and this dude was always in the gym. Always in the gym.
Yeah.
He worked so hard. But at the end of the day, I really do think Rick did what was best for him and letting him go to Northwestern. And had that injury not happened, I mean, he was having a heck of a year, Whereas at Louisville, I think those minutes were cut in half.
Yeah, I really don't think he's seen much of the light of day if he stayed here. So I agree with you. I think Rick did what was best for him. And I echo your sentiment. I mean, it didn't matter what time of the night or day we went up there to play basketball. In the off season, you could go any time of night or day, just whenever you felt like you wanted to go work out or play basketball. If you were, affiliated with the team in any way, and it didn't matter what time. It could have been 1 in the morning, 4 in the morning, 9 o'clock at night. Swapshire was there putting in work.
Yeah. And
So
you always get a good, if you ever talk to Swapshire, you always
You
get
got
a
that
good.
D voice.
Oh.
Man.
I'm Jerry Swapshire.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Swap, but yeah, it's great to hear he landed that job. Really excited about that, and also while we're on transfers, real quick, really excited to hear that it sounds like Buckles is going to end up in Minnesota. That's awesome. I was really worried for him that he was going to get stranded there at FIU,
Yeah.
but that's awesome to hear, and may be able to play immediately. So
Well,
Hey, he should. If
Yeah.
I mean, there's no reason why he shouldn't. He sat out last year. There's no reason why the NCAA would keep him from playing.
yeah, I agree.
We
with that.
we got a couple of responses on Twitter. At TJ_the_hero replied Harry Douglas and Mario Urrutia. At Paige_CSZ, I think we know her.
What up, Paige?
What's going on? She said,
Brian Brom and Stephon LaForest.
Stephon LaForest.
Yeah, I got at Harp _15. He said Tony Stallings, who was,
Oh yeah.
Great dude.
I
Great
love-
dude.
and then Mr. Michael Weimer at Weimer Go Cards did Ralph Dawkins.
Oh okay.
Gotta love Ralph Dawkins.
Yeah.
Great thing about Ralph Dawkins, if you were on the 1 yard line, he was itty bitty too. He was like 5'9", I think, but he would jump.
Over.
My goodness, I think all his touchdowns. If I remember correctly, his senior year he was leading in 1 yard touchdowns,
Oh, I
and the
believe
reason
it.
why he would just jump.
Yeah, he was crazy. I really would have liked to seen Dalen Dawkins at Louisville.
Yeah.
I understand why he wasn't offered, why we didn't have room, but man, I was really hoping we.
If
we
he was
offered
anything
him.
like his dad.
My goodness, I watched Trinity play a few times, and he was just phenomenal. He's going to be great up at Purdue. I think Purdue is where he ended up. He's going to be great up there. I hope the best for him.
Yeah. Speaking of Trinity, James Quick won the 200 state championship, and he got second in the 100.
Yeah, and actually ran it so fast that they said he would have just been like and don't quote me, 0.2 or 3 seconds off the record at the University of Louisville. That's fast. You remember Howie Lindsay? We had him on when we had James Quick on a few months ago.
Yeah.
He said James Quick had world-class speed, and you're seeing that. I mean, that's fast.
I hope that he's our one of our returns.
Gotta be. He's got to be.
I mean,
I'm not really sure who else you put back there.
Yeah, he's got to be. But I'll be honest. At this point, let's just catch it. Let's just catch the punt. Let's just worry about getting them, and then we'll worry about scoring touchdowns after that.
absolutely. Well, it's been a great 15 minutes already. Of course, you can give us a call at 502-265-5211. And when we come back, we'll have Perrin Johnson, kind of see what he's up to, and then get his kind of analysis. We're still on the high. There's still some fumes of the national championship, and, of course, looking ahead. So I can't wait to talk to him. So we'll be right back.
All right.
Welcome back to the Cardinal Pulse. I'm John Hancock here with Steve Rummage and Jeremy Wallman. We're supposed to have Perrin Johnson on once again. He's supposed to be calling. He's a celebrity now, and
Perrin's big time, man.
you know,
We used to call him Diddy, like P. Diddy, because he was so big time back in college.
Yeah, that's all right, though.
So Hollywood.
it's all right. But you can still give us a call at 502-265-5221. Talking about our favorite football players growing up. Always great to hear different people's stories of reason why, because it usually isn't. I mean, sometimes it is, but usually isn't that I have experienced the person who is making the biggest plays. Of course, right now I would say Teddy Bridgewater, but not only because of what he does on the field. I mean, he plays hurt.
Man,
you know, he has character.
that Rutgers game
he's
still, I mean,
polite.
was an all-time classic.
Phenomenal.
You know, I mean, that was insane. One leg, one arm.
sitting through several Teddy Bridgewater press conferences, gold.
Oh, yeah.
Always gold.
Yeah.
I mean, always polite, but yeah.
Either he's a genuine nice guy or he's got a heck of a publicist.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he hits every single question right on the money.
You know, if he was gonna do a Heisman, candidate race, with
Campaign.
his relationship with his mom, I mean, the
Oh,
stories
man.
are there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
With her sickness and the things that Teddy had to do,
Right.
and there's just him and Eli Rogers.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, ESPN would have a field day.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm sure they'll still
They
do
will.
stories.
They will.
But
Actually, they'll have a field day with the fact that he's not having – by not having a Heisman campaign, he's probably going to get more publicity for having a Heisman campaign. I mean, so
that's a very true statement.
So
Absolutely. I mean, he's still going to do press conferences. He's still going to be you're just not going to see the big old billboards.
No.
Of course, unless, a Cardinal fan decides to put in the money and make their own billboard,
which we've seen done.
Yeah.
We have.
We have seen that done. So.
I mean, there's been Teddy for Heisman T-shirts made. Since he was a freshman.
He's been calling himself Teddy Heisman since he was a junior in high school. I mean, so it's not like this is a new thing. I mean, but yeah, I mean, I was thinking. I mean, I was seeing teddy bears being handed out. I mean, you can imagine they was going to go just everywhere with this. Unfortunately, now I won't get a Teddy Heisman teddy bear, which does disturb me, but that's all right. So, but he's going to have a thanks, John.
Or the 2 pieces of gum for your sock, like last year.
Yeah. I mean, all the little things, which I tried that in a rec league basketball.
It didn't work.
Not at all. The gum was nasty afterwards too. So
It was awful.
yeah, but regardless,
It was awful.
yeah.
Not the gum.
And we was around Teddy, before, and it said, I mean, at what point do you not chew that gum? I mean, at what point of the game do you get into the third quarter and go, not chewing this? I mean, at some point. But I mean, regardless here.
It's the same with when you were a kid and you knew that the gum in the baseball pack was like, I mean, it was from the 70s.
Yeah.
But when you open the pack,
I know.
it was brittle, but you ate it.
Yeah, it was crunchy. You
And
read
and
the
you
comment.
spit it right out, but you had to taste it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with
You know.
that.
It's like the smelly sock on the ground. You got to smell it before you put it in the laundry. I maybe not.
Nope.
But let's move on. A lot of things going on. Jeremy, baseball. Our baseball team is heading into Big East tournament. We are Big East champs.
Yeah.
Regular season champs.
We needed to sweep Pittsburgh to be that outright, and we did just that.
Yep.
And Pittsburgh is they have fantastic. They have we played against 3 of their best junior pitchers.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of close games, but we ended up,
Well, we're looking at the bracket over here. I mean, and what Pittsburgh's the 3 seed.
Right.
I mean, they're the 3 seed.
But they were the 1st seed.
And exactly.
Yeah.
And what Dan McDonald was calling, I heard him calling the early birds. I think it was this morning. Said the most talented Big East tournament ever. So I mean, and they were 3, almost was the 1, and Louisville swept them. I mean, that says a lot about how good of ball that the Cards are playing right now.
Well, and the quality of the conferences went up in recent history, just within the last 3 or 4 years. You got Pittsburgh, that's a major force now. Seton Hall jumped into the top 25 rankings this week. You got Notre Dame, Rutgers. I mean, it's getting better. it's really, I mean, as you can see by the bracket here, it sets up for a Louisville Seton Hall or a Louisville Pittsburgh final game. Either one would be a great final game.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we start off Wednesday against Connecticut. Then we will play the winner of the South Florida Rutgers game. If we continue to win, and then since it's a double elimination tournament, we'll then play the winner of the other 3 losers.
Yeah.
So
that should be an excellent tournament down there. Baseball, they have a good shot at making it to Omaha. I heard today, I read on Twitter that we're like in second place in the Capital One Cup, and if baseball were to make it to Omaha, that we probably win that thing. So
which is it's a very Capital One Cup confuses me. It always does. They give points to weird things for weird reasons.
I think we got somebody calling in here.
Who we got?
We got Turtle. Jeremy?
No, hi Turtle. How are you, my friend? I'm trying not to be tense for you. How are you?
Hey, good. I'm a little bit behind. I tried calling earlier, but I was being an idiot. Favorite football player growing up for me was Dave Ragone. The dude showed intensity on the field and off the field.
Do you have any stories of something that you remember the one where just kind of stood out?
I mean, honestly, just leading the field down the field whenever we do Florida State in that rainstorm.
Yeah, that was
memorable.
Yeah, I mean, what a moment. I mean, that's something that Ragone, I think Ragone is remembered for. I mean, you could not take that guy down. He was a monster.
So gritty. I mean, somebody could have hit him 20 times really hard, and he's going to get back up. He's waiting for the 21st hit.
Yeah, absolutely. Turtle, were you at that game?
No, I was, God, I don't think I was old enough to even go to football games.
Well, Turtle,
I was actually at home. I just got off from school and watching it with my parents.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for calling in, Turtle. You have a great night, man.
All right, take care, guys.
All right, bye.
Thank you, sir. Dave Ragone. I mean, hey, I couldn't argue that at all.
No, you can't go wrong
Love
with
Dave Ragone. Yeah, heck of a player, man.
Yeah, another player. Man, I always forget these certain players, but Kevin Watson, 73 on Twitter said the Hammer McCune. Oh my goodness.
We seen him at the mall one day. Me and Steve did, and this dude had like muscles on top. It was just like 8 bowling balls sitting on top of it. It was just ridiculous.
Let me tell you a little Robert McCune story real quick. Okay, I was on an official visit to Louisville coming out of high school. We walked past, and Robert McCune is sitting on the training table, and I mean, this guy's just an animal. And my dad says, my dad looks at him and says, what are you benching now? And Robert McCune looks at him very nonchalantly, and he's like, about 550. About 550?
Yeah.
Are you serious? That's 2 human beings.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy was just an animal, man. And the scary thing was he was actually the second strongest guy on the team.
Yeah.
Jason Spitz was actually the strongest guy on the team that year.
But per pound, McCune was
absolutely.
I mean, Spitz was a big dude.
He was a monster.
So per pound, I think McCune was 235, if I'm not mistaken.
That sounds about right.
It wasn't a very tall linebacker, but that's the type of linebacker that I remember growing up.
Yeah.
Tyrus McLeod, McCune,
Frost, Rice Lockett.
big old middle linebackers that will just tear your head off.
The thing that Louisville was known for was this monster middle linebacker.
Right.
And then 2 outside linebackers that were converted safeties.
Right.
Abe Brown, Brandon Johnson, all them guys were like safeties that were converted, but they were just so fast.
Right.
And that was just that. I love that linebacking system. Of course, I like the one we got now pretty good too.
Yeah, it's all right. We got Beast 502 mode. He's chiming in. He's going to say his favorite player of all time was Harry Douglas, but it's because he's the one that got him his basketball championship ticket.
I like it.
Yeah.
Good call
Harry's
on
still
that.
doing great things at the Falcons. They love him down there in Atlanta.
Yeah,
I mean, he's their backup wide receiver, but he's just done a lot he's just been faithful to him.
Yeah.
He's done a lot of small
Heck
things
of a
for
player
him.
too, man.
Absolutely. Of course, you can give us a call at 502-265-5211. Before we get on with Chris Jones, just here in a second, maybe talk about Steve, maybe we can run down some football recruiting.
Yeah.
We've got 14 commits already for 2014. Top 10 recruiting class already up for 247.com, for rivals.com.
Yeah, I mean, about everywhere. It's pretty solid. I mean, we have landed. I mean, the thing is with this class, and this is what John, me and you were talking about before we went on the air. All right. Well, I think we got Perrin Johnson calling in, so let's go ahead and go to him.
All right, Perrin, how are you tonight, man?
Good, all right. How about yourself?
Doing fantastic.
This guy.
Yeah, Perrin, this is Steve, man.
What's going on, man?
I'm doing.
I know you got the deep voice like you're Barry White or something.
Man, we were talking about swap earlier, and ever since then, I've been trying to kind of tone it up a little bit. Man, I got to ask you a question, Perrin. All right, I know you was watching the Players Championship a couple weeks ago, right? I know you're a golf fan like I am. So where do you rank how bad that Sergio debacle on 17 and 18 was? Look, I know hole 17 at Sawgrass is bad, but I think I could get it up there in 2 tries.
I'm not great at golf. I mean, I put forth a good effort, but the last golf scramble I played, I lost every golf ball I had. So, so that says anything about me. But as far as Sergio Garcia goes and what he did, I mean, it's just, you're a man or you're a mouse. You either step up to the plate or you go home. And
I like it.
Tiger Woods obviously got lucky at the end, and Sergio could have made a play and been the champion, but he choked down the stretch.
That's true.
These Cowboy fans, I'll tell you what.
Hey now. Perrin, I hear we're an elite fraternity here.
Hopefully we put it all together this year.
I've heard that every single year since I was 4.
Yeah. Well.
And back then they did put it together.
Yeah, John, who's your
team?
I'm a Miami Dolphin fan.
Okay, exactly.
Okay,
so please stop.
No, come on now, John.
At least I'm a Steelers fan. I got a little bit to talk
Super Bowl. That's never going to happen.
Well, Perrin, good news for us is we've signed Tony Romo to a 5-year extension, so we have that going for us. All right.
Perrin, let's get in a little bit of Louisville talk. I know that most fans get to hear you on 1450. You do a great job on that show, but let's talk a little bit about what this championship means. Not just what it means to the team, maybe even because if it wasn't for teams like yours, I don't think we would be able to be in this type of have a Final Four and then the next year go to the national championship. I don't think we would have had that. It took years like yours and moving on to get kind of where we're at. Am I mistaken on that?
No, well, to be honest with you, it all started with Reese Gaines. You got to give Reese credit. Reese laid the foundation for this house to be built on. So, I mean, at the end of the day, when you look at all the guys down the road, Reese Gaines really put Louisville back on the map. He's the reason why there's a Yum Center. You can say taxpayer dollars, you can say everything. But at the end of the day, you got to get people to come to your arena. Without people filling up Freedom Hall, they wouldn't have filled the Yum Center. So you got to give, in my opinion, all started Reese Gaines, Taekwon Dane, Francisco Garcia, Ellis Miles, Larry O'Bannon, all those guys. That's what it started with.
Absolutely. So moving on to the future, and into the summer, what do you think they need to do during this summer? I mean, they won the national championship. How do you keep that going into another year? You're going to have a different point guard, of course, but what do you need to keep that going?
Chris Jones is very, very talented. When you look at what Chris Jones does, he does a tremendous job of what he can do. He can handle it. He's like Peyton with better offense. And it all boils down to what's going to happen with the big guy position. Obviously, Montrez is going to work on his game. Shane needs to really work on his ball handling and his shooting to expand his game. And we're going to see who steps up and is going to be the center for this coming season as well.
Hey, Perrin, this is Jeremy. I have a question for you. I was explaining to them earlier that back in college we used to call you Diddy because you were big time. You were Hollywood, and that you was just going to call whenever you could call. Am I accurate? I've described to people on Twitter that Chris Jones is Peyton Siva's basketball IQ with Russ Smith's offense, his scoring ability, and Nate Robinson's athletic ability. Is that accurate?
I wouldn't say all that. I don't know if he's that explosive as Nate Robinson. Nate Robinson is one of the freakishly gifted. He's probably the most athletic small player I've ever seen in my life, or anybody for that nature. But Chris, I don't know if he's as erratic as Russ. He's more of a pure scorer. Like when he makes moves, you don't think he's making moves like, oh, he's going to take that shot. That's a good shot. Russ takes stuff like, why did he put that up or how did he put that up? I don't know how he got that up.
Right, but
so,
Chris,
I mean, Chris is more of a scorer.
Yeah, he's more. That's my comparison. I meant that he was a more consistent scorer than Russ.
Yes.
Okay, so I got a question. What would Perrin Johnson's role be on this team next year?
Perrin Johnson's role would be top assistant coach. Highest favorite, too.
I think we would all love to see that, Perrin. I think you're a fan favorite around here from everybody we talk to. Everybody enjoys listening to you on 1450. I know that. They also like that
Absolutely.
Steve Rummage guy you got that calls in every once in a while.
So Perrin,
yeah.
speaking of assistants, we found out today that Jared Swapshire is getting into the coaching game. What do you think it is about playing under Pitino and, end up being a coach? I mean, he's got so many former players and, who are coaches now. Is it the way that he teaches?
It's the way that he teaches the game. He breaks the game down fundamentally from A to Z, and he makes sure you understand the game from screening to passing to being in the right place at the right time. So, I mean, he makes it really simple for you to do all those things, and once you do that, it's easy to teach the game once you know the game from top to bottom, and that's what he does.
Absolutely. Well, Perrin, we thank you so much for calling in. We gotta head to this break and get Chris Jones on, but we are so thankful for you coming on. And where can fans get you on Twitter? And when is your show on 1450?
Yes, I'm on 1450 every Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Sorry I missed you guys last time. Jeremy didn't talk to me for 4 days because I had a migraine. So Jeremy got kind of upset with me because I didn't call in. I didn't hear from him for 4 days.
He's probably the reason why you got a migraine.
I'm glad I got on with you guys this time, so I'm glad I got on with you guys this
Absolutely. He's probably the reason why you got a migraine, so we ain't mad at you, man.
Perrin, I don't let people under 5'5" give me crap, so I'm not listening to them.
This is very true. This is why the only reason that people give him problems is only Terrence Farley. Outside of that, nobody else does 6'11".
Hey, by the way, Perrin, we met Bacon tonight on our way in, and I just want to say God bless you.
Appreciate it. But leave my guy alone, man. He's still my guy.
You have a fantastic night, Perrin. Thank you so much.
All right.
Perrin Johnson, always great to have him on. Check out his show on 1450.
Yeah. I think he's on every the afternoon drive.
The afternoon drive from 4 to 5 o'clock.
Yeah, Perrin's a great.
He gets great guests, of course. Former Louisville players, of course, he has on all the time.
Perrin is one of the most genuine, nice guys you'll ever meet in your life. I don't care who you are. If you're out, you see him, you stop and talk to him. This dude will talk to you, and he will be genuinely nice to you.
Absolutely,
he's a great guy.
Absolutely, and he knows the game of basketball.
Yeah, he does.
And he pays just as much attention as anybody who probably was in that class.
Absolutely.
When he was there. We're going to take a quick break. When we get back on, we're going to have Chris Jones, and then we'll end the show. It's been a fantastic show so far. Of course, you can give us a call, 502-265-5211.
Back up, look away, head fake, trade ball, celebrate, fall back, we got a point to prove, ballin' like we got nothing to lose, yeah, I got your number, keep your phone on, I'ma call it soon, Coach said this was my year.
back here at the Cardinal Pulse tonight. You know what, guys? We got something good now. On the line with us tonight, we have the National Junior College Player of the Year. We have the unguardable. We have the man who still lives in Joe Jackson's nightmares. Okay? We have the guy on the phone right now that's the reason that Andrew Harrison can't sleep at night. We have the future of U of L point guard. We have Chris Jones on us with us. How you doing tonight, Chris?
I'm doing fine.
Good deal, Chris. Now, Chris, we know you're a Memphis native, so I'm going to start right off and ask you, are the Grizzlies going to beat the Spurs?
They always start out losing the first game, but I don't know. I'm around with the home team on this one, but I think they'll get them.
Okay, all right, yeah. The Memphis Grizzlies have been on fire this year, so that's been something to watch, man. And we're definitely excited about that.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah,
Chris.
they've been on fire. They shocked me when they beat OKC. So, I believe they're gonna beat the Spurs too. But I don't think they're gonna beat Miami though.
Anything can happen, man. Anything can happen. Chris, this is John.
Miami got too much.
All right. You heard it here, Chris. A lot of Louisville fans want to know a little bit about you. People who followed, of course, recruitment when you were at Tennessee before you went to Northwest Florida State. What's kind of the reason that you picked Louisville? You had a lot of great teams coming after you. Of course, you have a lot of upside. So what's really the reason that you picked Rick Pitino? I mean, this was before, he won the national championship this year. So you must have saw something, right?
Yeah, I went on when I came on my visit. I never seen a coach and players that was more focused than University of Louisville at that moment. They were far ahead of the teams that I visited, and I got a group of guys there that I already know and that I know are great guys. So they really just put the icing on the cake then when I just knew Kevin Nair was there and Shane Beer and all them guys. So I know them guys, and hopefully we just continue to get better.
Absolutely, absolutely. So Chris, what part of your game should we had Peyton Siva the past several years. We got to watch him develop. What's something that you are going to bring to the table, maybe that fans maybe don't know that much about you?
Well, I'm gonna bring more. I'm gonna be more vocal. But Peyton was a great point guard. And I watched a lot of film on him, so I can succeed next year and do the things he did. But the only thing I got on Peyton is that I can shoot way better and I can get to the line like him and do everything else like him. But he's a take charge guy like me, and I'm just ready to lead the team, to another championship, hopefully.
Hey, Chris, this is Jeremy. I got a question for you. We were talking about this earlier in the show, and asking you as a player, you could probably give us a better answer. Coming off of a national championship win, how does this year's team stay focused enough? I mean, that's what you play for. You play for a national championship. How does this team stay focused enough to go back and get it done again?
Well, they're veteran guys now, so I think they're more mentally than younger guys who win a national championship. So that's the University of Louisville. That's a family, and I vibed out there. So hopefully, we just keep our heads. Don't get unfocused. Listen to Coach Pitino. You can't go wrong without him. He lead players in the right direction. So all we gotta do is really just stay focused, and I'm still getting the hang of this myself. So I will listen to Russ and all the guys that have been through it. So they also gonna be there to help me. All we gotta do is just play as a unit as they did this year, and stay as one.
Chris, this is Steve. Louisville was recruiting before they took the commitment from Chris. Louisville was recruiting Tyler Ennis, Anthony Barber, and Chris Jones. Now, Chris, I'm going to brag. I'm going to pat myself on the back here, and Jeremy can attest. I've been a Chris Jones fan for a long, long time.
A long time.
Okay, so, Chris, just let me know. Is Chris Jones the best point guard in the country next year?
No, I'm not going to say that, but, if everyone, pay attention, and they know basketball, hopefully everyone starts saying it next year, But I'm just go in and do my role, play, do what I do, and hopefully catch a lot of people's eyes, and then, the word, tune in to the Chris Jones show.
There it is.
That's what I've been waiting on. That is what I've been waiting on. I have an airbrush shirt that says the Chris Jones show. That is what I've been waiting on. Thank you so much for that line right there.
He's not lying either.
I'm not lying, Chris. I have an airbrush shirt that says the Chris Jones show. I'm waiting on you, man. I'm waiting on you to get up here.
Chris, we know that I've gotten to talk to Coach Forbes a lot about what type of not only player are you, but also you as a person, just the type of leader that you are. What kind of you've had to lead your team down there at Northwest Florida State. What kind of you have that experience now? How much do you think that helps you coming into this year, as if when you were coming out of high school? How do you think that you've grown, as that much of a player?
I've grown as a great point guard coming out of high school, because on my team I had to do a lot of scoring, and I didn't really get, a team thing until like my junior year, and that's when I want to start winning championships and becoming a better player. But I'm glad I had a great coach, and Jermaine Johnson down there, who believed in me and said I could do it. And he just, stood by my side, took me in and showed me the ropes. But then, I got down to Northwest Florida, and the competition in Memphis made it easier for me, to just get in and just get out, lead my team to 2 national championships. We got there twice in 2 years. Unfortunately, we didn't see like we wanted to, but a lot of people came to the game that usually didn't come to Northwest Florida games. We brought a lot to their community and everything. But, they told me on my last game, never seen a player like me, so that's an honor down there, too. That's a great group of people.
Absolutely.
Chris, next year, Louisville's, obviously we're in the transition conference. We're going to go down to Memphis. Are you going to remind Joe Jackson of what you did last time y'all played?
It's every question where I go, But, Joe has become a better point guard than what he was in high school, But it's not a one-on-one thing, I'm just a winner, That's all I want to do is win, But if I have to score that night or do what I got to do to win, I take it upon myself to do it.
Absolutely. All right, Chris, one last question for you here. You watched the tournament run. You've seen the Kevin Ware injury. Could you just kind of give everybody a little more insight into, you and Kevin are friends. You've known him. You tweeted about it. We've seen. If you could give us a little more insight about y'all's relationship and just how you're looking forward to getting with him and playing next year.
Yeah, me and Kevin, that's like my big brother, we like brothers to each other and everything because of how we had to bond, We both signed Tennessee as sophomores, so I think we had to bond real fast, We thought we was going to be at Tennessee, but unfortunately, all the sanctions there, and he ended up in a great place. And he was just telling me about how good it was, how he missed me and everything, how he would like to play with me again and stuff like that. So that was in the back of my mind, too, going through my recruit process because Kevin knows my mom and my dad, and they like family to him. So, that bond between me and him, is unbreakable.
Absolutely. Folks, this is Chris Jones, man. I'm telling you, our producer is a Kentucky fan. You know what? But you know what? Andrew Harrison, I'm looking at him right now, Matt. Chris Jones is coming for Andrew Harrison next year. I'm not worried about it, not one bit. Chris, man, we are so looking forward. I think everybody in Card Nation, if we could get you right now, just give one last message to Card Nation and what they should expect and how excited they should be for you coming up, and then we'll let you off here.
All right. I like talking to you guys.
All right. Man.
Or not.
No, Chris Jones, fantastic kid. His coach, I've talked to him a couple times.
Yep.
And his coach Forbes just adores him. He was a coach on the floor. Mm-hmm. He did everything that was asked of him. I think Rick Pitino already said that it's probably the next horse that he's going to name is going to be after Chris Jones.
Absolutely.
Louisville fans should be excited. It's hard because when you think of he's a JUCO transfer, but we're not talking about any JUCO. I mean, he tore it up in JUCO.
Yeah,
he
absolutely.
was the best. I mean, scoring 23 points a game and dishing out 6 assists a game and 3 steals. I mean, he was showing that he was the dominant player in JUCO, and that's what you want in a transfer, not somebody who's just competing.
Right. Dave Tellup, I mean, who may know more about recruiting than anybody in the country, I mean, said he was the best junior college player in the last decade. I mean, this isn't – I've always been one – look, Nate Daniels, all of them, when junior college players, even with Kentucky, Rickalin Sims and some of the ones that they got, I've always been one that's like, look, don't put too much stock in JUCOs. Don't put too much stock in JUCOs. But this kid is just something special. I mean, there's more to him than just your average JUCO. I mean, we're looking – if you ever would have told me we're going to lose Peyton Siva and upgrade the next year. Now, I'm not saying he's better because we got to see him do it, obviously. But he has every intangible, every gift, everything there to be better than Peyton Siva was. I never would have thought we would have lose a guy like that and not be worried going into the next year. Right. And honestly, I think with Chris Jones, we shouldn't be.
Well, we're talking about a kid who's coming in, and Terry Rozier is a top 15 prospect.
Yeah.
I mean, normally he would come in and be the starting point guard. I mean, that's what you get a top 15 point guard to do.
Yeah. And, we kept referencing Joe Jackson, but the reason we did that is Chris Jones played in the league. In Chris Jones' district in high school, there was Joe Jackson, Adonis Thomas. Yeah. I mean, there are 3 or 4 more I can't think of right off the top of my head right now. They were all in. They all wound up playing D1 ball. I think there was 8 guys in that district went and played D1 ball. Joe Jackson was the man. Everybody was like, he's the baddest point guard coming out. He's a McDonald's All-American. Chris Jones went in there and dropped 50 on him. And nobody, as a junior, nobody was giving Chris Jones the time of day. Yeah. And they were saying, that's a cute little matchup. Joe Jackson will play him hard, or Chris Jones will play him hard. But Chris Jones dropped 50 and then did it again later in the year. I mean, this kid is no joke.
When we talk about point guards who are able to score, and I think I've said it on every single show that we've done so far. But if you watch his tape, the way that he's able to score in bulk, it reminds me of DeJuan Wheat. Yeah. The way that he plays defense, similar. They're similar height. But the way they can just shoot the lights out and score on 15 in a minute without thinking. Yeah. That's Chris Jones.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm so looking forward. I really and I really mean that. We watched tapes and when Louisville was coming down to the final 3 point guards and you knew they was going to get one of them. I remember Anthony Barber, a 5-star point guard, being on campus, and I remember telling Jeremy, honestly, I hope he don't commit. I hope he don't commit. I really want Chris Jones. And honestly, I think Pitino wanted Chris Jones. I think Pitino got his man. I think that's who he wanted. I heard Chris Jones in an interview say that Pitino literally told him. Now, this is coming from Rick Pitino, who could find criticism with Michael Jordan's game. He told Chris Jones, he said, what do you got to work on? Or Chris Jones said, what do I need to work on? He said, throwing the ball in.
Well, that's
it.
Did you – I remember – I forgot how much Northwest State, Florida how much they –
it's easy for you to say.
Long names are difficult for me. But I forgot how much they were down. But the story goes they were down by a ton. Yeah. And it was just after the Syracuse game where Louisville came back. And he said, this is Syracuse. Give me the ball. I'm taking over. Yep. And they ended up winning. I think he scored like 20 points in the second half. The kid he has that it. He has confidence, but at the same time, he's from what Forbes has told me he's a humble kid. Yeah. He has confidence in his game because he works on it constantly. He's a gym rat. Yeah. That's what he loves to do. So, he is coming and he has a lot of friends on the team. He seems to have bond already with them. Of course, with Kevin Ware, they've had a bond for a while. Yeah. But he has bonded, it seems, with Shane Bohannon and some of the other ones on his visits that,
and he loves defense. I mean, that's the thing. With Anton Gill, I think, is going to take a little bit longer. But him and Terry Rozier love to play deep. I mean, you can just see it. I mean, they love defense. And they're going to – I'm telling you, they are just going to slide right in that point guard spot. And we're going to have an excellent point guard, an excellent backup point guard. And it's going to be exciting this year, man.
I just can't wait to see how he responds in the tough situation. Because I remember you telling me a story earlier about how when Joe Jackson and him matched up the first time, after the game, Joe Jackson was like, well, that was a fluke. Yeah. and then he came back the next game and scored how many more than he did the first game?
I can't remember. I know he scored something along the lines of about the same or close to it.
But did it again. So if he can do that at this level, we don't have anything to worry about at all.
Yeah, and I think the question is, of course, it's different. So I have to kind of phrase it this way: in a Rick Pitino's system, would you rather have a JUCO transfer who has been under a very good coach who has similar defensive style to Rick Pitino? Would you take a JUCO transfer in Rick Pitino's system, or would you take the #1 recruit in the nation as a point guard?
Right.
Who's going to play? Who's going to be the best in that system? And I would say a JUCO transfer who has that experience, has that because there's difference. There's a difference in the way that you prepare for a game in high school. They don't lift that much. But when you
it's such a hard transition. I mean, look, at the beginning of this year, and this isn't smack at all. This is on. I mean, I'm honest. I thought Alex Poythress would be a monster.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was preseason All-American. I mean, he was a top 10 kid, and I believed. I watched the kid play in high school. I said, this kid's an animal.
Yeah.
He's the best player Kentucky's got. Who would have thought that he would have had a hard time? Wayne Blackshear. You want to go Louisville? Wayne Blackshear.
Mm-hmm.
Not that Wayne Blackshear has not done well for us, but if you would have told me Wayne Blackshear would be here for his sophomore year, I would have laughed.
Well, it's different. I think Wayne Blackshear lost confidence because of his injuries.
Well,
he had to change his game.
Right, and that could be too. But the point is you never quite know with freshmen what you're getting. I mean, Anton Gill, same thing. I mean, Terry Rozier, same thing.
But it's not really the same thing. Hargrave Military Academy is a little different than what some of the players.
It is a little different, but also these kids, the Harrison twins, played against the best or the best high school basketball teams.
Right, but we're talking about Hargrave Military Academy. Where you wake up at butt 30.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the whole lifestyle, absolutely, is different. Yeah,
it's different. It's
what
a little
time?
Different.
What time exactly is that?
Yeah.
For me, it's about 5:30.
Okay.
I will
never call you at 5:30
yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
There's nothing that I would ever do to call you at 5:30.
I hope you don't.
Is this thing on?
I won't answer. I won't answer.
Yeah, what the heck, John? I'm trying to make a point. I'm trying to make an argument here, And
you just yelled at Chris Jones for 15 minutes.
Look,
he's probably scared as crap.
Chris Jones, right. He's going to go to bed dreaming of putting 50 points on me. Chris Jones could put. I'm going to play Chris Jones when he gets here. I've told him that. $10
says Chris Jones isn't thinking about you.
I bet he is. I bet he is right now, Chris.
$10.
Me and Chris are going to play one-on-one. We've already talked about it. We're going to play one-on-one when he gets here. He's going to spot me 22. We're going to play to 24.
I thought you were playing to 21.
Well, I'll probably still lose. So, regardless, we have an excellent class coming in. I'm looking forward to it, and we should be really excited about basketball season next year.
Absolutely. Let's before we have a break, or before we end the show, congratulations to Shoni Schimmel. She'll be representing Team USA when they go to Russia.
Absolutely.
And the University Games or University World Games, I think is what it's called.
Yeah.
And she'll be representing a lot of UConn players, of course. It's all rigged, but I say it, whatever. But congratulations to her.
Absolutely.
And we got a lot of great things going on with U of L. Next month we'll have another great show.
Yeah.
Of course, we like to hear your feedback, so let us know what you think and maybe different guests that you would like us to try to get. And it's a show about you, so we want to make sure that we do what you want us to do.
Absolutely. We're looking forward to it. Maybe next time we'll dive into some football recruiting. Charlie's on a roll, so we'll give him another month. We're liable to have a full class by then. So we'll dive into that and look forward to doing it.
Cardinal Sports winding down for this season. We've got the Rolling Big East Championships going through May 31st to June 2nd. We already referenced the men's baseball. We got women's track and field in the Big East Championships from May 23rd to 25th, and the NCAA's in Eugene, Oregon from June 5th to June 8th. So that'll be it by the time we have our next show, other than baseball, will be concluded.
We'll be in full football mode.
I heard the softball team lost the other day.
Yeah.
Well, have a great night. This has been the Cardinal Pulse. I'm John Hancock here with Steve Rummage and Jeremy Wallman. Have a great night.
You don't want these cars.